Welcome to Dusklight Communion, a Grand Archive podcast. Today is our fourth episode. We're going to be covering a couple topics here. The new Proxia's Vault card Clarent, the recent regionals we both attended, and the new MRC Alter cards.
Which
Lots of
has been out
stuff.
for Alter Card's been out for a little bit, but we want to talk about them because
Yeah, they revealed them in the second anniversary live stream, which was last week, I think.
in my head that was much further ago. I'll be entirely honest with you. Time has been a thick soup.
Yeah, congrats to Grand Archive for hitting 2 years. Would you say it's safe to say we've passed the great filter of card game life cycle?
Yeah. Yes, actually. Typically, notwithstanding another pandemic that happens, we should be totally good.
Yeah, knock on wood there that there's not another pandemic anytime soon.
Oh God, not a. Well, I think one is good enough for my lifetime.
Yeah, one's good for now. Maybe
for
give
now.
give it a few decades.
You see how I feel in like 20 years, and I'll be like, we can use another.
So first off, we have Clarent Reimagined, a new Proxia's Vault card. This was showed a few weeks back. I think it's been out for 2 or 3 weeks now. I think
Like 2.5-ish.
2.5-ish. So the card here on the right, Clarent Reimagined, it's a 2-cost material deck card. Regalia Weapon Warrior Sword. It's a norm. 1 attack, 3 durability weapon. It's got 2 abilities, both are Lorraine bonus. While paying for this card's memory cost, you may banish a card named Clarent, Sword of Peace, the original Clarent, and up to 1 other Sword Regalia card from your material deck. Each card banished this way pays for 1 of that cost. So it's a 2-cost, quote-unquote. It's really a 0 to 1 cost.
It's free.
Yeah, because you can either banish Clarent and a second sword, or you can banish Clarent and pay 1 memory from either your memory or a floating. But the prerequisite, you got to get rid of Clarent.
I mean, actually, can you technically just banish up to 1 other sword regalia and not banish Clarent?
I think, from my understanding, if you're paying this alternative cost to help cast it, Clarent has to go no matter what.
Alright, that's fine.
You may banish a card named Clarent and up to 1 other sword, to my understanding.
Alright, that's fair.
Yeah. In the situation
you have
playing
to put
this,
Clarent in your deck.
Yeah, you're probably always getting rid of Clarent no matter what. I don't think there's ever a situation where you'd want to not get rid of Clarent.
Look, this card was they admitted it when they spoiled the Clarent Reimagined. They're like, look, Clarent Sword of Peace was a relic of its time.
Yeah.
It was designed to fight against Rye, but it wasn't even that good at doing that. So we made one that's a lot better at that.
The original Clarent is a 1-cost sword that's 1 attack, 2 durability, class bonus for warrior, remove a durability counter, prevent the next 1 non-attack damage to be dealt to each unit you control. That's not great right now, so they kind of amped it up a little bit with Clarent Reimagine's ability. Lorraine bonus, remove a durability counter. If target unit would be dealt non-combat damage this turn, prevent 2 of that damage, and then Clarent gives itself Spell Shroud. So it's half a safeguard amulet per durability counter, because it's this turn. So it's not like a shielding instance. It's a blanket safeguard thing for the turn.
Everyone, please remember, this works like Safeguard Amulet. I'm talking directly to a few of you.
Yeah.
You know who you are.
I've seen it. I've seen people get gotten by it. It's easy to miss in the wall of text for any video watchers. You can see that this card's got it's like 2 paragraphs basically.
One of which is describing how it actually costs 0 and not 2.
Good old Proxia Vault. Yeah, this card's cool.
Very.
We're definitely not biased. You won't see that in a few slides.
No, what are you talking about?
When this card got spoiled, my friends and I were like, okay, let's see how we can make this work, because preventing 2 damage per non-combat damage instance is Burst Asunder. That's why it's Anti-Fractal Machine. 1 durability counter completely negates a Burst Asunder. It almost fully negates a Stratagem. It turns Stratagem to 1 damage pings. If you remove a second durability counter, negates Stratagem fully.
Yes.
So it's very good at dealing with these burst damage water decks that do it in instances. And because it can give itself Spell Shroud, and it's a 2 cost, it's like really hard to get rid of.
They can't mirror it. They can't fracturize. Well, they can attempt to fracturize it, but fracturize reads eat 1 durability.
Yeah, which you could use to time it.
Yeah.
Fractals does have some emerging tech of using Captivating Opulence to tax the ability usage of Clarent, so you could get him with that, but...
For those of you that don't remember what Captivating Opulence does, it is a 3-cost unique Fantasia that says when it enters, draw a card into your memory, and Diao-Chan bonus, activated abilities of Regalia you don't control cost 2 generic more to cost to activate, which means removing a durability counter also reads remove a durability counter and pay 2.
Yeah.
So if they time it right, they can get you if you don't respond by just activating 1 for safety reasons.
Yeah, it's yeah. There's options, but for right now in the current metagame, it's pretty much impossible to get rid of.
Oh yeah, this card's still just like styles on fractals.
Yeah. And the decks that can use this, Philo and Cruxlo, Lorraine, well, Fire Lorraine is back on the menu. Wind Lorraine Allies has been around for a little bit now. But we get Philo is rearing its head again, and we've started seeing some Crux Lorraine decks poke around here and there.
Yeah, it's very powerful. Home by Fire specifically, very good. Just because, you know, generically making one of your swords stronger and being able to use it for longer is very good. But being able to surprise your opponent and put an extra durability on Clarent, shockingly effective. I never thought I'd respect Tempered Steel as much as I now do. But 1 cost floating memory that says use Clarent extra time? Deal. Sign me up for it.
And like these Philo decks were already playing Home by Fire and Tempered Steel. Home by Fire for extra kill lines by giving the sword more damage, and Tempered Steel just kind of as a float for discarding with Hasty. So like these Philo decks did not have to change what they had been prior doing at all. They just had to slot Clarent into their material deck or side deck, and all of a sudden you have I think it's safe to say tier 1 deck right now.
It's very efficient. There's not as much counterplay to it yet because it's, you know, it was an archetype that just kind of emerged in the span of checks notes. Clarent came out.
Yeah, before Clarent, Philo was nowhere. It got ran over by Fractals. Fiza just kind of was doing what it wanted to do a little better, but Fiza was also seeing a decline due to Fractals.
Yeah. But Fiza had like a bit more of a succinct kill line of going Poison Dagger, I'm going to go Xander next turn, and you're going to explode.
Yeah, but it was also telegraphed in that way, where with Philo, it's usually not as telegraphed, because you're randomly just like, oh, grab Forge Light Blade for myself, Home by Fire, Rending Flames you for 14.
Oh, Rending Flames. My beloved.
I've been playing Philo a lot at my local scene recently, and I've caught many people off guard of just like, oh, I'm at 5 damage. They'd have to deal like 15 this turn to kill me. They're not going to do that. I don't need to vanish from sight. And then I do 15.
Mm-hmm.
It kills very randomly out of nowhere without looking like it's going to kill.
Yeah.
And then Cruxlo is funny because Lorraine Spirit Ruler specifically, that Crux Lorraine. On enter, choose a sword regalia with memory cost 1 or less from your banishment and put it onto the field. It gets 3 extra durability. You can grab one of the 2 swords you banished to pay for Clarent off of Lorraine 3. So you could throw a Drawn Blade under there just to get the card draw. You could throw a Sword Saint Val.
I mean, you could technically grab Clarent.
Yeah, you could grab the original Clarent. I don't know if I would recommend that, but you could.
I mean, I don't know. It's just even more damage prevention.
Yeah.
Imagine having both Clarents in play, looking
funny.
at your Fractures opponent and being like, "You're not that guy.
You're not that guy.
You're not. You ain't hitting me."
You could also just throw Prismatic Edge under there, since you're not actually materializing that anyways. Like, not to get it with Lorraine, but like, just because you don't care where Prismatic Edge is, you're gonna Ascension it anyways.
Yeah, Ascension is how you're getting it. So.
Yeah. And then you still have Drawn Blade to grab and use, then get back. at some point. So lots of options. We should also note that the Clarent Reimagined is interesting because it's not just your champion you can protect, it's a target unit. So let's say your opponent has a Polaris with 4 counters on it, and you've got an Arthur and a Red Hair out. You can burn 2 durability counter to prevent Arthur and Red Hair from dying to a 4 counter Polaris.
Yes, and very sneaky piece of tech that does not come up often, but is a relevant thing. You can target your opponent's stuff too, which I did have. I had be relevant once. Of my opponent was playing Suzaku, and they're like, "I'll ping us both," and I was like, "Nah, I'll give us both prevent 2. You don't get a quest counter."
Yeah,
And because of that, they couldn't flip their Phoenix. They were like, "Oh, this sucks."
I had a store championship on Monday, and one of my friends was playing Suzaku, and one of my friends was playing Water Crux Lorraine, and he lost a game because what he should have done was it was pretty telegraphed what the Suzaku players about to do. They were at 5 counters. They could go up 1, and then they had an impact. They materialized impact hammer, which is going to 3 themselves. So it's very telegraphed. They were trying to flip Suzaku that turn, and they did flip Suzaku and Suzaku's command to kill. But if the Clarent player had removed a durability counter on both players, he wouldn't have been able to get to 7, and would not have been able to kill him that turn.
It's just such a wild, oh, I guess that is a thing I can do.
Yeah. It's
you never
weird.
think of using your beneficial effects on your opponent until it's no longer a beneficial effect.
Yeah, there's some instances where like Lux and Xander will try and 2 themselves with a Lightweaver Assault trigger to pop a Chalice of Blood, and you can just tell them no. Very niche case scenario there, but it is important to note that these weird case situations can come up, and Clarent's ability to say target unit is pretty strong.
Yeah, the point we're making is Clarent, you look at the sword and you're like, okay, I'm spending my materialization for a 1/3 sword that can prevent some damage. That doesn't seem that powerful. You underestimate how versatile this effect is, to the same degree of it being on the field itself is a threat.
Yeah.
You don't have to use it often, and that's the point of it. Is it sits there and says, "I'm turning off this out for you." You can burn cards to make me use durability, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah, you're going down, and all I have to do is like laugh at you. Sure, man.
Yeah. So it just sits there the entire time. There's sometimes I've made Clarence for a game and ended up being like, oh, I never popped any of the durability. Maybe I shouldn't have gotten this. And then my opponent flipped their hand. It was 2 copies of Blazing Throw and 2 Vermilion Decrees. And I was like, oh, cool, never mind.
I had that in my store champ. I played against Philo round 4, and I pulled out Clarent because I'm like, I know you do Blazing Throw and Verm Decree shenanigans in Rococo. And after the game, he was like, yeah, here's 2 Blazing Throws that I just couldn't use.
Yeah, it's so nice to have.
Yeah.
It's such a niche protective piece that Lorraine kind of needed.
It's so insane. Because
yeah,
she was not in the metagame at all. Or like Fire. Fire was not in the metagame at all. Let's put it that way. It was pretty much just Fire Arasana and Fire Xander, I think.
Basically,
there was some Fiza here and there. And now she's out. I mean, we'll see. We're going to cover the Pennsylvania regional results here in a second. And you'll see. There's a lot of fire. Way more than we're used to.
Yeah. There's in fact something that's not there that you'd normally expect to see.
But it's also out because this new Philo with Clarent deck shuts down most of the other fire aggro decks. It shores up the matchup against Fiza, generally speaking, and I don't know how Fire Arasana kills you for Clarent, since their kill con is like the Slash and Burn, Cinder Keeper, Searing Rebuke line.
Yeah. And that you literally just be like, okay, throughout this entire interaction, I will... Actually, you know the most nuts part of that? Is if they... Oh, how does that work, I guess? Your opponent has a Cinder Keeper, they go to Slash and Burn after they've Searing Rebuked. You target them with Clarent. Which prevention effect takes priority? Or they get to pick?
It should be time-stamped, right?
Damage prevention and damage is weird. Sometimes it's timestamped. Sometimes it's.
I think
the controller gets to pick.
Yeah, I think I think the controller would get to pick because it's. I don't know.
Well, that's
from my understanding, the controller would get to pick because it's 2 prevention effects. 2 effects that
here's
are
the
2
thing.
replacement effects on damage.
In that instance, it doesn't matter. You just target yourself, and they're like,
Yeah.
all right, those cinder blooms no longer hurt you, and now the Searing Rebuke goes to hit you, and you're like, cool, I'll take 3.
Yeah.
Opponent's like, well, I just kind of blew my load there, so damn. And you removed 1 durability.
Yeah. Clarent
It
good.
is. They're good.
Yeah, the store champ. I won the store champ with Philo. It's Clarent good. That card. It's so wild how we just got reciprocity for Tony, and that card is so medium, and
It's so close.
it's so close to being decent. I feel like, right? Like Tony's still not in a good place. Maybe with the new MRC Alter cards, there will be a playable version of Tony, but I don't think it's a version that even cares about reciprocity.
It might not be.
I think reciprocity has a bunch of issues. It only makes 1/1s for a 1 cost. I think it should either make 2/2s for it being a 1 cost weapon, or it should make 1/1s as a 0 cost weapon.
My only criticism with it being a 0 cost is the fact that it has the Polaris tech of you can materialize it for effectively free.
Sure, but so does Polaris.
Yes, but Polaris you can't use immediately. If reciprocity said you may materialize this if you have 2 or more domains, it enters rested, I'd still be okay with that.
Are we really worried about reciprocity being awake?
Well, no, because my reason of it being that being entirely fine is it means you can't make a 1/1 immediately, but it still it wakes up when you would want to pay for a upkeep cost.
Yeah, like I don't think it would even matter if it was rested or not. Oh, I get an extra 1/1. Ooh, I made a mercenary blade basically. Ooh.
Before your opponent fracturizes it, man. Like, look.
Yeah.
That is my one thing of the thing that Clarent dodges that stuff like Polaris, and if they made reciprocity 0, it wouldn't dodge, is stuff like Reduce to Ash. Clarent dodges Reduce to Ash for 2 reasons. 1, it can give itself Spell Shroud, but also, it technically costs 2 to materialize, and because of that, you're just like, oh, well, can't target this. It's really hard to destroy a material card.
It also doesn't die to
2.
Spurn.
No.
Because Spurn's 1 or less, so I think it's really only Meltdown that can attempt to destroy it, and then Fracturize.
Yes.
I guess Wind could try and Zephyr it, but like Wind's not doing much non-combat damage anyways, besides Ari, so
yeah.
I guess Wind Luxem, but I don't think Wind Luxem generally plays Zephyr now.
No. In fact, we tried to convince someone to be off it.
Yeah. So let's go next. We got the Pennsylvania Regional at the Banish Zone. We both went. I was a judge. So I was undefeated, personally speaking. So we're gonna it was a top 16 event. There was 83 players. So
that sounds right.
Mandate of Honors went to top 16. We'll look at top 8, and then we'll look at 9 through 16, and then we'll look at some data, some juicy data.
Yeah.
So as you can see here, there's no water in the top 8.
Yeah, there was none really.
It's Lorraine and Xander.
Yeah,
which
I
did not realize until I looked.
Yeah, wow. Now that you say that,
but it's a lot of different decks.
Oh yeah.
Serene Fire, Luxem, 2 Wind Allies, 2 Wind Luxem, Philo, Biza, Cruxlow.
Yeah, like legitimately, they're all pretty different.
Yeah.
Wind Luxem, Steve-O, no surprise there.
Yeah, it's wild. Steve-O got the buy round one. If any viewers or watchers here know about Steve-O, he never gets the buy because he's always winning. He's just the GOAT. So,
yeah.
Him getting a buy round 1, diabolical by the system.
So the way that Banish Zone, the actual store itself, works is there's 2 floors because they need to house 83 people playing Grand Archive. So there's an upstairs and a downstairs. Downstairs was relegated to those that were on the kind of the bottom end of the bracket, and
it's
upstairs
the bottom tables. It's the game zone.
That being said, God, it was so much nicer downstairs.
Yeah, the weather was not great that day. It was pretty humid and hot. We had to run
Yeah,
4 fans upstairs and open the doors to make it
and it still was.
decent. It was still pretty bad.
But
Basement was nice and
during the
cool.
first round, Steve-O came downstairs to be like, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" Everyone's like, "Shouldn't you be in a match?" He's like, "No, I got the bye." And everyone booed him.
Yeah, we could hear it upstairs. It was funny.
But no disrespect to him. He was a
yeah.
lovely guy. He's a great person. It was just very funny
very
that
funny.
everyone was like, "Boo this man!"
It's a running bit to boo him. He won scrubbed out at Santa Clara, and everyone booed him when he got his prizing. That was funny. And every regional that I've been at, where he's topped every regional that I've been at that he's also been at. Whenever he comes up to get his prizing, everyone boos him while clapping. It's a very surreal experience.
Yeah.
But him and Leo Blade they're both teammates, I guess is the best way to put it. They're both from the area. They're on their Win Luxem deck that's still doing pretty well. Got JC Cologne, aka the Wind Allies player of all time. I don't think I've ever seen him play anything that was not Wind Allies.
Is that how you spell cologne?
I don't know. I might be mispronouncing that. JC, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, but
Hold on. Now I need to know how to spell cologne.
maybe it's Cologne.
Oh my God, that's how you. No, is that how you spell?
Maybe it's Cologne.
No,
I usually just say JC.
No, that's how you spell cologne.
Okay, maybe it is JC Cologne. Maybe I'm not crazy.
The cologne is it's COL.
Okay.
It's COLOGNE.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
That's how you
Maybe
spell.
it is Cologne then. I don't know. But he's on Wind Allies. He got third. 12 amp, also Wind Allies.
Cologne's one of those words.
Yeah.
Sorry, continue.
Serene Fire Luxem taken first, 601. If we look past fifth, we got some interesting fire decks. We got Elian, who's someone we both know.
Yes. Playing the same list.
Yeah, he's playing Fire Aggro Lorraine, and he played the same list that Noah here played and that I've been playing. Because we came. Well, I don't want to say we came up with it. We took the second place Ascent, the recent Ascent list. That was like. That was Philo, and we just took the main deck, put Clarent in the material deck, and said, "Okay, let's just try this." Apparently, it does well.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've since edited it a little bit, but
one of the material deck things we were doing is maybe not worth it, but it was really funny.
We also took out the strapping conscripts. It's funny, but we wanted more consistency.
Scrapping conscript sure was a 2/1.
It's a 2x2/1. Pretty much all the time. Sometimes it's a 2x3/2 if you're level 2, but I wouldn't count on it.
Yeah, I do not hold your breath.
And then we had a FISA deck at 7th and a Fire Crux deck at 8th. I believe it was
It was nice.
6th place, 8th place, and 8th place, and 3rd place. We're all using Clarent. So 3 Clarent decks in the top 8. 12 Ant was not using Clarent.
Interesting.
He's just kind of that guy.
Yeah, it's built different.
I mean, if we go to 9th through 16th here, no, who is that at 9th place?
It's me.
It's him. I handed him the Philo deck the night before. We tested 3 games against Genbu, and he said, "Yeah, I understand." And then he topped.
I was like, yeah, I think I know what's going on here.
What a mad lad, dude.
The funniest thing about the event was we were driving to the store, and I was like, oh, by the way, what is my worst matchup? And you went, it's kind of hard to say. You're not really good against water allies, but you shouldn't really expect that. And I don't know, Arisana can be kind of rough for you. I was like, oh, okay, got it. And then my first round was against Wind Astra Arisana against Rex
Kanan, who is probably one of the better RE players in the continent.
And I was like, oh, cool, that's not good. And then I proceeded to win game 1. I was like, oh, it's fine, I just gotta do that again. And then proceeded to get stopped 2 and 3.
Yeah.
I was like, that's not good.
But then we submarined him back.
Yeah.
It was really funny.
Yeah,
you go first. You first.
The deck was very good. Like playing it playing against I played against Fractals twice, Suzaku twice, Fiza, Arasana twice actually.
Yeah.
And I believe that was all.
Pretty,
Yeah, that was all
pretty
7 of
decent
them.
matchup spread.
Yeah, I fought both of my Fractal matchups as my last two.
Yeah.
Was told like, all right, I'm supposed to be really good against Fractals, and that's when the Captivating Opulence got played against me, and I was like, oh, oh. And I lost the game one. Was like, God, if I lose to Fractals, I'm going to be absolutely demolished by my friends.
Yeah, but you locked in.
Yeah, 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Then beat Fractals again because they had one of the hands where they looked at their opener, did not play something immediately. I looked at him and went, I know what's just happened to you. He was like, yeah? And I'm like, you drew an opening hand, and I'm going to guess what's in it currently. 2 Glimmering Refusals, 2 Shimmering Refractions, 2 Refracting Missiles, and maybe like a Frostbind or something. You don't have any Fractals. He went, interesting. For an unrelated reason, I'm going to pass the turn. Like, yeah, I'm sorry, man. And then proceed to play like an Arthur on turn 1, and was like,
God.
I apologize for what's about to happen to you.
Yeah, I mean, that's the nature of fractal decks. Like, 24 of your slots are fractals, but there's a chance you don't draw any still.
Yeah, I've been there. It sucks. It feels awful. Because you draw your opening hand, you're like, oh, cool, the game is over.
I will say, it was funny. I was one of the judges upstairs. We had 2 judges upstairs and 1 downstairs. And it would be like 15 to 20 minutes after the round had started, and Noah would come upstairs, and I'd be like, oh, you win or lose? And he's just like, what do you think? I'm up here after like 15 minutes.
Yeah, let me tell you, Suzaku, that matchup, not only is it lightning fast, it felt like a bye, because they, funny thing about fire aggro decks is you don't play a lot of protection cards, because you're not worried about your own life total, you're just trying to lower theirs.
Yeah.
One of the niche things that we, in our Lorraine list, that we have since gotten rid of because we realized it was probably too dorky, was the card Sword Saint's Vow. Because you can sometimes got them and kill them. But the thing that I would do against Suzaku was I would be at Lorraine, they'd be like, all right, I've played most of my cards pass. I'd be like, all right, create Sword Saint's Vow. Prereq, I'll Hone by Fire. This is a craft, put 2 durability on it. Then it's, because of Hone by Fire, put another durability on it. Alright, it has +2 attack. The sword attacks as a 6. Rending Flames.
Ugh. Rending Flames for
18 you?
18?
Yeah, 18 you, you die, and they look and they're like, yeah, I die.
Yeah. Yeah, Suzaku's kind of free for Philo, usually, unless they draw the nuts.
Yeah, but even then, like, you have enough interactive pieces like Vermilion to create.
Yeah.
I had, like, Jacob knows about this, but I had one of like my sickest lines against Suzaku where they led with Arthur go. I was like, okay, cool. Look at my opening hand. All right, this isn't great. Hasty Messenger, attack, discard Tempered Steel, go. Like, all right, untap, become. I want to become Gojira. We'll both take a damage. I'm like, yeah, makes sense. Like, all right, cool. Baby Fire Slime, attack with it. Discard a fire card for you. And I'm like, well, it's 3. You didn't attack with Arthur first. He's like, oh, shit. Yeah, sure. I'll take 3. I was like, yeah, sure. I'll take 3. Then he attacks Arthur into my hasty, kills it. He's like, all right, last card, play Rococo. I have 4 in memory. Go to 2 you, gain a quest. I'm like, no, stop. Vermilion Decree, kill Rococo. We're both going to draw a card. Like, oh. So Rococo dies. I'm like, and now you have an influence of 5. I don't take 2. He's like, right, okay, sure. So he passes back to me. I become Lorraine with the Tempered Steel. I'm like, all right, make my sword that deals 1 damage. Recollect. Play a Flame Rune Swordsman. Play another Hasty. Clear your board with my sword. Pass. The game is over.
Yeah. Board control
you had no board. You have 5 cards. You're gonna have 6, but whatever. I don't care. You can't kill me this turn. You've only dealt like 4 to me, and I have 20 life.
It's also, like, it's notable, Lorraine is a warrior, so her level 1 has 20 health over the normal, the normal 19, and her level 2 has 24 over the normal 22, so she's, you feel that extra health.
Yeah, she a chunky girl. It's hard to kill you.
There's been a couple times where it's like my opponent's doing the math. There's like, I'm like 1 or 2 damage off. I'm like, yes, good, because I'm like 10 damage over next turn.
Yeah, the guy in 6th, I believe, Gestalt, who's on Fiza.
Yeah.
I played him, and I played a game against him where I was like, all right, go to level 2, not because it's helpful, but because I need the help.
Yeah.
And I won that game because he was like, yeah, I needed to 5 you, and I could only 4 you. And I was like, thank God Lorraine is 24 health.
Oh, I feel bad for not remembering his name. He's a very nice guy.
Dakota.
Dakota. Yes, Dakota. Very
Dakota
nice.
was very nice. You were, I was upstairs for that, so you watched my match. He
Yeah.
was very pleasant. We messed around the entire time. I passed turn like, all right, I was 1 damage off of killing you. Go, as long as you can't 15 me. And then he proceeds to look at his hand, go, all right, hit you for 1 with Jaquao. Make both of these daggers, blazing through, rending flames you. And I just stared and was like, yeah?
Yeah,
Died?
that was so funny. That was so
I just
wild.
stared kind of baffled, like, oh.
Yeah.
Shit.
Because that match put you to 2-2, and then you won the next 3.
Yeah, I had to win the next 3.
Yeah.
God, I was like, oh, come on, man. I wasn't angry. Like, I was like, yeah, dog, you got it.
That was so funny. I'm glad both of you got top 16.
Oh, it was all like when he realized we both did. We like
Yeah.
fucking shook hands. It was awesome.
Speaking
You
of
respect that guy.
Speaking of goats in the top 16, number 10 Chatterbox, my boy Gavin.
My goat. I've forgotten your name.
Arvin is also a goat. He's one of my judge goats. He played Winluxem. I don't think he did the best, but that's okay. Winluxem's a hard deck to pilot.
Yeah.
But Gavin in 10th with Fire Suzaku, my goat.
Yeah. I also wanna shout out to someone from my local, so I know Gunshi, a good man named Austin. You'll notice it is not just Wind Seryu Gorgia.
Wind Beast Seryu Gorgia at 14.
Now, Jacob, do you perhaps know why it's Wind Beast?
Geldus! Geldus!
Oh, there's another key one you're missing.
Well, Limitless is an animal.
Is Limitless an animal?
Limitless Slime is an animal, yeah.
Alright, fine.
I've played enough
Double
slimes.
Slime's
I know
beast.
my animals and my beast. I know which one's drawing
You're
my
right.
card at level 2.
I think it's more of which one is. Does it have the word pride written on it? Congrats, it's a beast.
Yeah. Yeah, the
but
only
no.
dragon the top.
Yeah, he played against both Tristan and Wind Xander, beat Wind Xander, and drew against Tristan.
Yeah.
And if you're wondering, oh, well, were his opponents just bad? No, he quote unquote figured out the matchup of, oh, just never make dragon and make a limitless slime that's so big they have to bounce your board, and then make the dragon.
Yeah.
And huge respect to him. You're just like, yeah, no, I kept attacking with idiots until they had to bounce my board, and then I played a Geldus, and they were like, I don't know if I can beat that.
It's a very interesting iteration of the list. And Seryu is interesting because Seryu has not been doing any numbers in North America due to the prevalence of Winluxem. Because first it was the prevalence of Tristan, and now it's the prevalence of Winluxem, because both are very bad matchups for Seryu. But because those decks have not really been present in like the Southeast Asia region or the EU region, which I don't even know about EU, I haven't looked at much EU data, or the Oceania region, Seryu's been performing pretty well on the other side of the world, but it just gets pub stomped here.
Yeah, there was a fair amount of Gojia, whether it be... Actually, there wasn't a lot of Genbu. There was some,
Yeah.
but there's one in the top 8.
We've got one in top 8 here.
Top 16.
Or
top
top 16. Top 16. Yeah.
But there wasn't too much of it going about, but yeah, every time I would walk over and see someone like that's playing Dragon against, and then I'd see any assassin card, I was like, oh, my condolences.
Yeah, it's just Assassin's so well, like, just positioned to beat them naturally.
Yeah.
They have skill things that can suppress, they have ensnaring fumes, they have just the ability to sometimes kill the Shenju with slice and dice.
Yeah, that's the biggest insult is you're like, yeah, I can't. They're like, oh, well, I can't bounce the Shenju. And you're like, oh, thank goodness. They're like, but I can kill it. Like, what
Yeah.
do you mean by that?
Slice and dice and Asian protector into it? Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
Dragon's
yeah.
interesting. Dragon is a deck that I love dearly, but I don't think it will do well at NA Nats, due to the presence of Winluxem.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for Winluxem, I'd probably be trying to do Seiryu at NA Nats, but I'm probably just gonna play Philo. Spoiler alert, because it's fun. I like doing math of like, +5 times 2? Death!
They're getting really quiet and being like, oh, you've lost. Like, what?
Yeah.
Huh?
So let's look at some numbers now. So this is the numbers overall. A lot of wind.
Oh yeah? Source?
Source the numbers that I didn't make up. 49.4% wind. 41 decks specifically, which is a lot.
By the way, that one norm I believe is supposed to be fire. There was
Yeah, there's a spiritless Xander list. I guess they just forgot to put the spirit in their deck list.
Yeah.
Happens to the best of us. But not a lot of water, which is surprising since we've been coming before Clarent. There's a lot of water with fractals.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I do wanna point out one thing, and like we see obviously Fire Aggro, that was the combination of Fiza and Philo, Wind Allies, a combination of Wind Robots, as well as just generic Wind Lorraine. Luxem Assassin makes sense. Seiryu, like I said, there was a little bit.
The
The one
single
person on
water
water Seiryu.
Seiryu, Braden, my goat.
Speaking of the single water, extra right there. Jacob, do you wanna describe what that was?
Negate Arasana.
Yep, it was a deck that performed.
I think
I don't.
I think there might have been 2 Negate Aries, right?
Was there 2?
There might have been 2, but there
No
maybe.
way.
I think it might have just
Let
been
me
the
check.
one.
I'm checking.
Yeah, you check. Negate Ari is a very weird deck. It's very slow, just in its win con. Especially
all of your.
especially if your opponent says, "Yeah, let's play it out." Because we found out one of our friends played against a Negate Ari at Banish Zone, and the Negate Ari assembled the combo of like here's Legion, Astrolabe, and Scry the Stars, right? I always mix up the 2 names.
It's Elysium Astrolabe, and yeah, Scry the Stars is the one that says until end of turn, all your cards gain
Star Call.
Glimpse 3.
Yes, they gain Star Call and Glimpse 3. And then Elysian Astrolabe says all of your Star Call costs are free, Glimpse 5. So you just play your entire deck, basically.
No, there was only one Fortuitous Water Astra Arizona player, and they went 2, 1, and 4.
Damn. I mean, that's the nature of Negate Ari. It's a slow deck, and unless you win a very long game 1, or you somehow quickly win 2 games, you're gonna tie. There's just not enough time. There's a new MRC Alter card that maybe closes the gap a little bit. I don't think it fully does, but maybe it gets us in the right direction.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know. Negate Ari is just very slow, and yeah. So one of our friends, they played against the Negate Ari. The Negate Ari assembled the combo, and they were like, "Okay, I win," and our friend said, "No, let's play it out," because he wanted to see how it worked. And they sat there for 20 minutes.
Something like that. I don't
know. He did die. But it's just like, if the opponent wants you to play it out, you're going to be there a while.
You got to play it out.
Yeah. I like Negate Ari. It's a very cool deck. I wish it could kill a little faster.
And we're going to see the Alter card. Maybe?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. And then notably, only 7% Fractal. So Fractal gone down in popularity a lot. And then I like our 10 most sideboarded cards. Scatter Essence isn't even first anymore at 25%. It's Staggering Strike at almost 40%.
Yeah. Look, man, sometimes you really need to remove some prep from someone.
I mean, I'm considering putting it in the sideboard of Philo just to slow Tristan down.
And I don't hate that.
Yeah. It's also like, it is just a true side attack. So like if they do some stealth shenanigans, it's like, cool, die?
Yeah, they're like, haha, vanish from sight. You're like, haha, I see you.
Yeah. Of course, Verding Protective Trinket and Nullifying Lantern, very expected. And then Stifling Trap makes sense. Seiryu, Astra, and Wind Allies, and Luxem, probably all sideboard, some number of copies. Or between main deck and sideboard.
I love that Stifle is just like, you're like, nope, I want it. Amazing, man.
Then, if we look at, where did the other, oh, okay, well, there's that one. If we look at the numbers of top 16, we've got 7 wind decks, 8 fire decks, and 1 water deck. So we definitely have a big difference from those overall numbers where it was like 50% wind. Now it's 50% fire. So fire decks had a very good conversion rate.
Yeah.
Water decks did not.
Ah, well. We feel like the overall tournament was, about like 25% water.
Yeah. And then in the top 16, we have 6 decks running Clarent. 2 Philo, 2 Wind Allies, and 2 Cruxlo. And then 0 Fractal decks and 1 Dragon deck.
There wasn't a lot of Fractal decks to begin with.
Yeah.
Just because of the nature of, Clarent had just come out and it was kind of scaring people that were playing.
Without Clarent, when Luxem had kind of been putting Fractals in their place a bit.
This is true.
Like Fractals is still doing decently over in like Southeast Asia and Oceania regions currently. But there's
Same
not.
reason Stereo is doing well.
Yeah, due to a lack of Wind Luxem, but there's also a lack of Clarent over there right now. At least in the Sydney regional, I think there was not as many Clarent as we at Pennsylvania. It's an interesting data points. We're recording this on Friday. Today's Friday. Jesus.
Yeah, it is Friday. Yeah.
Friday, May 9th. I think due to the time zones, the Oceania Nats starts like, I don't know, I think it starts in a couple hours. This video will probably go up after that. So you can go see right now, or go see after you finish watching this or whatever. You can go to Fractal of Insight, the website with tournament results. That's where we pulled all of our data from. Thank you, Fractal of Insight and MDuo, for providing the data. And you'll be able to see how Clarent has affected the first Nats post-Clarent. And then we have North American Nats in like 2 weeks, roughly.
Believe so.
Yeah, and then I think the next thing after that's Worlds.
When is Worlds again?
That's Worlds the one is the end of June.
Yeah, and that's the one in
Anaheim, California, which you should come to.
And end of June is. I thought it was end of May. I thought it was the end of this month.
No. That's NA Nats. NA Nats is end of May. Well, it's like almost end of May. It's right before MRC Alter, which is actually at the end of. Speaking of MRC Alter,
it's time to get into new cards, including a new subtype.
Yeah, Command.
Have you ever thought, well, my champion is tired, he's exhausted, he can't attack anymore. Well, what if your units could do it too?
Introducing Command. Command is a new type of attack where instead of attacking with your leader, I almost said leader too, attacking with your champion, you attack with the specified type of unit. So these are Command Automaton. An Automaton ally performs the attack. Yes. Interesting.
Yes. This is, looking at both these effects, they're both 2 costs. These are the only ones that they've printed so far. So there's only 2 that exist. There is 2 2-cost attacks, 1 in Norm, 1 in Wind. The Wind one has a class lock behind Warrior as well. Where you could say, I want one of my automatons to attack. It'll do its base attack stat, and then this attack will enter the intent as well, giving it 2 and 3 bonus attack respectively, as well as the on-attack triggers should your attack resolve.
Yeah. So Charge Directive has an on attack. It's the Charge Directive is the norm 2 cost, 2 damage attack. On attack, summon a rested power cell token. Then each opponent banishes X cards from their graveyard, where X is the amount of power cells you control. So it's always a minimum of 1. Nice thing is this isn't class locked, so you could do like backup charger into Charge Directive and get rid of 2 things. Maybe if they've dumped some early float.
Now, please note that they do get to pick the cards that they banish.
Yeah.
It is not you declaring your targets. They just have the option to pick which of the 2 cards they banish.
But it helps cull the graveyard a bit. Good against these Genbu decks that care about the number of water cards in bin. The fire aggro decks that care about having a number of fire cards in their graveyard.
Or Fire Momentum or Rending Flames.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think this one's more of a meta call, where Eternal Directive, the wind card's more of just gonna go in every single deck now.
Yeah, Eternal Directive is the 2-cost win card. Command Automaton for a 3 damage attack. Class bonus, the class being Warrior. On attack, put a buff counter on the attacker. That's pretty
so
powerful.
Good, because this is like how Clarent just slotted into Philo. This just slots into Wind Lorraine, because Wind Lorraine allies like JC and 12 Ant were playing at the regional. They already play a lot of robots. They play Shamrock Assassins. Sometimes they play Eternal Magistrate. Sometimes they play Rose. What's the other one? Andronica. Charge Mannequins sometimes.
Honestly, Charge Directive into Charge Mannequin into Charge Directive.
It's not bad.
Hot, honestly.
Yeah, 4 damage. Some of the powers. That's not bad. I don't hate that.
I will say, I think Charge Directive isn't just a meta call. Like, maybe you don't want both of these in like play sets of 4, but Charge Directive, yeah, sure. Oh, it only banishes like 1 or 2 cards. I think the part you're forgetting is A, Mercurial Heart is another power cell.
That's true. That's true.
B, Charge Directive making a power cell just means, hey, next turn I get another 2 damage.
I guess it is an aggro way to make power cells.
Yes, which is
the
kind of
power
needed.
cell archetype was kind of lacking, and with the other card on the right here, counter interference, we have more use of power cells now.
Yes, and that one doesn't say sacrifice a unrested power cell.
Yeah, we'll get to that one in a second, but the Charge Directive's good. I like it. But I think Eternal Directive's going to be more the highlight, at least the immediate highlight of people going, oh, I'm just going to attack with Shimmercoke Assassin. It's now hitting you for 6.
Yes. Now, please note, as far as we're aware, the rules have not been errated to how directives, I say directives because both of them are called directive, how commands work.
Function.
If we're to assume how they work as normal attacks, when you play Charge Directive or Eternal Directive, you rest the ally that is going to be using it as part of the cost to declare its attack. Then, if the attack resolves, it enters the intent, and then the on-attack triggers will try to happen.
Yeah.
This does mean these are 2-cost attacks because they are inherently putting your eggs in one basket. If you say, I want to play Charge Directive, tapping my Charged Mannequin, and your Charged Mannequin dies, the Charge Directive will never enter the intent because the person that was using it dies.
At least we assume.
So, yes, you won't get the on-attack trigger, you won't make a power cell. So you kind of lost 2 cards for 1, which is why these are 2-cost, I imagine, they are a little risky to play if your opponent is a high interactive deck. Plus, even if they just negate it, your guy doesn't get to attack.
Yeah. Well, no, yeah, it wouldn't attack.
Yeah. The one exception, no, just period.
Yeah, just period. Yeah, well,
even if they were using a sword.
Interested to see the release notes for MRC Alter in like a week or 2 here. Yeah, it'll be interesting. Yeah.
Either way, it's a cool space to explore.
Yeah, I like it. It's very interesting. Counter Interference is the other Automaton support card. It's a 2-cost fast action. Negate target. It's a norm card. Negate target trigger or action activation that targets an automaton ally you control. Then you may sack a power cell if you do draw a card. So if you have extra power cells, it can be card neutral. and it can negate Dream Fairy triggers, kill spells, anything your heart desires, really.
Yeah, this please note, this card is always a 1-for-1. You negate the effect you were trying to stop from hurting your guys. Then you have the option to sack a power cell and make it a kind of 2-for-1.
Yeah.
Very good card if you're
Pretty-
heavy on automatons.
That's pretty decent. It opens up space for Overlord Mark III again. Because the big problem with Overlord was Dream Fairy of like, oh, I paid 4 power cells to make this ally that will like win me the game if it's not dealt with. Oh, you played Dream Fairy and just sent it back to memory, and now I can't replay it. Okay, yeah, that's okay.
That's okay. He says quietly.
Now you have counter interference to be able to protect Overlord.
Yeah,
and it's another automaton card in graveyard that you can banish with Overlord to draw cards and give it buff counters. Blah blah blah.
It is itself an automaton skill, which Overlord goes, "Hey, automaton, eat."
Yeah, I like it. It's a cool space.
Same with the commands too. They're also automaton cards.
Norm Overlord automatons with charge directive and counter interference. What?
Or fire with a new card that's also been added.
Yeah, there's a few other things. Well, we've got all 21 new cards here to talk about.
Yes, we do.
Also, in case, I guess we should cover this, in case you're not aware of how Alter works. An Alter set is a reprint of the original set, so in this case it's a reprint of Mercurial Heart, MRC, with normally 20 new cards. This one has 21 new cards because they replaced a banned card. They replaced Baby Gray Slime with a new version. Each pack will have 1 Alter slot. I think takes the place of a common, if I remember right.
Common.
The pack will be 4 commons, 2 uncommons, 1 Alter card of any rarity. Of course, it's weighted towards the rarity, so it's more likely to get an uncommon in that slot than a rare or super rare. And then you'll have your normal rare slot.
Yes.
As always, buying singles is correct if you're trying to find certain cards. With Alter specifically, this is financial advice. Buy singles. Don't buy a bunch of boxes to try and find them.
This is financial advice.
These boxes are smaller. They have 20 packs instead of like 24-ish. So you're only going to get 20 Alter cards per box, and there's 20 Alter cards. So like you're not even going to get close to a playset on like anything.
It's
buy singles.
I am always a proponent of buying singles almost no matter what. So
yeah.
Buy singles.
Yeah, buy singles for these cards. Give it like a few weeks. They'll go down in price a little bit. MRC is a very popular set. It'll get opened a lot.
Yeah, people are gonna want to get those backup chargers. They're gonna want to get those. We didn't put the pictures here, but some of the cards that are getting reprinted with new art are stuff like Mercurial Heart. The Fragmented Spirits are also getting reprinted. Gloamspire, Mantle, as well as the Dagger, whatever it's called. I forgot the name of it.
Shadow's Claw.
Shadow's Claw,
I think.
The Pyrrhic Slime, Prima Materia, Overlord Mark III.
All the URs are getting new art.
Yeah.
Of course, if you don't own any MRC cards, like, maybe not a bad idea to get like a box. Because a lot of the EV on MRC is insane, the expected value. Due to the decrees, backup charger, although backup charger is hard to pull, but
which is amazing. It's a rare.
Yeah, but it's a regalia rare, so it's weighted differently.
Is it actually?
Yeah, you can see this with the in Heavenly Abyss, the UR DFC cards are all weighted differently. It's much more likely to pull a Lubu than the other 4. Because they want you to be able to get a playset easier, I guess. There's like 10,000 copies of Lubu in circulation, and there's only like 2.5k of each of the regalia cards.
That actually makes sense, because opening 2 copies of Genbu means nothing, because you only need 1.
It makes sense, but it's also weird when we have... I think we now have 16,000 registered players for the game. Now, active players is probably closer to... I'd hope, I guess, around 5,000-6,000. Maybe more. In terms of players going out and playing every week.
Yeah.
So, like, Art of War. I think Art of War has, like... I think it's, like, 4,000 copies in circulation. If every single active player wants an Art of War, like 1/3 of the active players might not be able to own an Art of War. Assuming all the Heavenly product was opened, which it has not yet. So it's weird. I understand the difference in waiting, but I think we do find some problems sometimes, specifically with Backup Charger. I think Backup Charger is the most like, oh crap moment, because everyone wants to run Backup Charger. Not everyone wants to run Art of War or the Fate Stones, but everyone wants to run Backup Charger. It's almost in every single deck.
It's one of those cases of like they designed it. They're like, oh yeah, it's another way to draw a card, but you're using this kind of resource, and everyone went, I will absolutely pay that resource to draw another card.
Yeah. Like I think I'll check an index real quick, but there's not enough backup chargers for the growing population. I mean, MRCs when the game really like exploded in terms of popularity, more than they were expecting. So they did not print as much as they would have than they would have if they had known what the player base was going to be. But smartly they did not overprint. That's how card games die.
Yeah, I was gonna say with Weebs, I respect them being like, hey, we're gonna kind of undershoot because like if we overshoot, that's really bad. We lose like a lot of margins. But they undershot, and then everyone was like, no, we really want to do this, and they were like, oh, well, it's a good thing we did. We'll just print more of it.
Yeah.
Like I respect that immensely about Weebs, is they're just fully willing to be like, oh, you guys, yeah, we'll reprint the set, sure.
And Weebs is a good company, and they're very small too, so it's very impressive. What they've been able to do with such a small team.
Yeah, every time they go on stream and talk, they're like, you do realize like the three of us here is like a lot of our team.
This is like a third of the team, dog.
Yeah, this is.
So look at the numbers. Really, there's between foil and non-foil, there's around 5,000 backup chargers from MRC, and there is we don't have population for the invite card. I think they said there's around 800 backup charger invite cards from last season. Yeah, it's funny. There's more invite backup chargers than foil backup chargers. There's only like 500 foil right now.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. Enough about random MRC stuff. Let's go to the next slide, I guess.
We put support here because it either has to do with gathering or it's an extra card. But these are a few of the cards that work for Arisana. The first of which is probably the least that has to do with her.
Yeah.
It's an interestingly designed card. It's Decomposed. Fast speed. As an additional cost to activate this card, sacrifice an ally. Pay 2. Gather X times, where X is the sacrificed ally's life stat. And then it's a picture of Geldis being decomposed.
Yeah.
Because that would gather 8.
Yeah, it's an interesting card. I don't think Arisana likes it because Arisana only really plays Dungeon Guide and maybe Foraging Servant.
Yeah.
I've seen some people make an argument of like decompose the Foraging Servant, so because it gathers on enter, it'll gather twice when it dies because it's a 1/2 if I remember right, and it has class bonus floating memory. And it's like, okay, sure. What happens when you draw the decompose but not the Foraging Servant?
Yeah, it reads Banish as part of leveling up.
Yeah, I think Decompose is going to be better in Tenora's Creation's Will. If you would make an amount of tokens, you can instead make that many 3/1 swords, and you can sack swords to make one sword really big. Because you could just have like a Neos Elemental that's got like, I don't know, 8 health or something, and all of a sudden, you have 8 3/1 swords.
Bonk you for 24.
Yeah. I like this type of card. I don't know if it has an immediate home, but I do think it is a very cool card.
I like that it exists.
Yeah, I appreciate that it exists, and I think it's very funny thematically.
Geldis should be like, I died. Yeah. The next card we have is Tend the Land, which is a bit more reasonable. 3 cost. Class bonus fast activation, which you can't see because the picture cuts off. It's normally a slow action.
No.
Shocking as that may be. But cleric bonus, fast activation, so you can use it as if it was fast. Gather, then draw a card.
It's
very simple, very real.
Juggle the lands.
Juggle the
surveil the
land.
lands. It's another in the cycle of class, semi-class locked, do thing that class wants to do, draw a card.
Yes. Isn't Surveil the Land actually a card already?
Or oh, maybe. I guess it is surveil the lands, huh? Or no,
Yeah.
isn't it surveil the wind? Surveil the wind. That's the assassin card.
Yeah, but isn't there also the Ranger one that's like look at the top 4, pick one?
That's Oh, I don't think it's surveil. Maybe it is. No, it's scout the land. That's scout the land.
Hmm.
Yeah, close.
Oh, close. Oh, sorry, wrong S word.
Pen the land's cool. I don't think it'll see play. I think Arasana is already good enough at gathering. With it between ingredient pouch, fertile grounds, leveling up.
Yeah. It's probably unnecessary, but it's nice to have like another backup way to just be like, all
I
right,
appreciate that it exists.
Well, that happened in Alter.
Yeah, a lot of that. The next one, I guess I appreciate that it exists. I'm so like middle of the road on this card. Moonveil Android. It's a 2-cost Astra 1/3. Ally, Assassin, Cleric, Automaton. Got 2 class bonus lines, so for Assassin or Cleric. Whenever you glimpse, it gains stealth, so it can protect itself if you like activate your Astroscope or do the Wisdom Surprise. And then class bonus, whenever you negate a card activation an opponent controls, give Moonveil Android 2 buff counters. So it's a possible new win condition for negate Ari that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It's funny because I love the idea of your opponent plays this card like 1/3, and you look at it and you just go, all right, I'm just never going to play another card. And it'll never get bigger.
Yeah, I think you'll still lose the game, but
To a 1/3, really?
give it enough turns.
Given enough turns, you're right.
Hard cast a few Comet Falls here and there.
Yeah, which doesn't hit Moonveil because it's Astra.
That is important to note. It survives your removal spells.
Everyone except Star.
Meteor
No,
Strike.
I gotta look. Yeah, Meteor Strike, assuming you haven't countered something.
Yeah, Meteor Strike's 3 to everything that isn't your champion.
But if you've countered one thing, then yeah, Meteor Strike, it survives that too.
Yeah. I don't know. I appreciate that it exists. I don't think it's going to do enough for negate Ari to matter, but maybe I'll be wrong.
Well, negate Ari will take everything it can get.
Yeah.
To be fair.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a card. Tony support. Remember when we talked about Neos last time and how Neos was like weird? It didn't change. It's still weird.
Yeah.
All right. They revealed all this on the 2nd anniversary stream, right? And before they showed all this, they were showing some statistics about champion usage and element usage. Neos was the least used at 2%. And then they show us a Neos card with Imbue 3?
Yeah, like
what?
Yeah.
It's a pretty decent card.
Yeah, it's pretty
But it feels so weird seeing Imbue 3 on a Neos card.
Yeah, it's Hector, Praetorian Guard, Neos card, a 3/3. That is a Guardian. Imbue 3. Class bonus. So if you're a Guardian, i.e. Tony, on enter, if Hector is imbued, summon 2 automaton drone tokens. And then class bonus. If damage would be dealt to 1 or more non-token Neos elemental units you control, prevent X of that damage, where X is the amount of tokens you control. Apply this replacement effect only once per turn.
I have one gripe with this card. I wish it would let you pick when you apply the damage prevention. But as worded, it will just apply to the first instance of damage. So if they try and poke you for 1, it eats up the entire shield. And then they can hit you for 20, and you actually kind of have to be like, oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. That is the downside of it. I think a big thing about this card is, yes, it is Imbue 3, and yeah, it's a lot. You do not need to imbue this card.
You don't need to imbue. It's nice because it's 3 cost for 5 power. It's just not nothing.
Yeah, it's legitimately not. Or if your creations will, It's 3 cost for 9 power?
Yeah, make 2 swords. Yeah, that's, yeah.
Throw one of the swords on the other one, 6 them.
Yeah, it's
Hector.
not bad. I like that his sword in the art is like a chainsaw with a
Chainsaw?
with a guard on it.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's gotta be safe, right?
Of course, of course. His shield's got a little chainsaw on the bottom of it too.
Oh my god, it does. It has a really small chainsaw.
That's not safe. Don't put a chainsaw on the bottom of your shield.
Yeah, like at least put it on the outside of it.
Aspiring knights, medieval knights in the audience, don't do that.
The aspiring space marines from Warhammer.
Yeah. But yeah, this card's it's fine. I want to try like a Neos deck that's like 20 to 30 Neos cards. Just bum rush to 3 with like the old Merlin package of like Creative Shock. What's the card? Cremation Ritual, like Library Witch,
Yeah,
and
like
Stalwart.
Stalwart.
I don't know if it'll be
I'm going to-
good, but it'd be really funny.
I don't know. I feel like because of the nature of Neos and Tony, because he's a guardian and he has 30 health, I think by the nature of you're really hard to kill,
Yeah, like
I feel like you can pretty safely do it. Like
true.
Philo's like, haha, I'll get you, and you're like, nah, joke's on you. I have 2,000 health.
yeah, because you'll be Serene Fire, so you'll have access to 36 health. And the nature of Neos cards is protection. It's very defensive and 2 offensive later. So as long as you can stabilize, like maybe you're okay.
Yeah.
I don't really know, and I need to mute Discord because I just realized if I get notifications, it's gonna show up. Because I just got one. I was like, how do I do this on mobile?
Receiving notifications.
I am. Oh, there we go. Do not disturb. All right, cool. Poor Ethan. He's gonna be like, oh, I messaged him and he went on Do Not Disturb. Oh no, he hates me.
Some of the other cards they added for Tony's support, that's other good Neos cards. They spoiled this one first. Throne Sentinel.
Yeah.
It's a 2 cost 0/4 with Hindered and Taunt. Stay with me. On enter, token allies you control get +1 attack until end of turn. Then, if you control 3 or more tokens, wake up Throne Sentinel, which means it can block that next coming turn.
Yeah, it's an interesting card. Oh yeah, there's one more line attack. That's right.
Yeah, which is you can pay 2, tap it. Your champion gains Spell Shroud until end of turn.
That's nice.
It's another good state. It's Stalwart Plus.
Yeah, it's Stalwart Plus. It's a way to win the game by applying aggro with tokens that you can make off of Hector, Ares, Cordelia, etc. It's protection to aggro, and it's protection against like fractals and shit. This is the card I think is the best of the bunch. It's just kind of like all around decent.
It doesn't do anything amazingly, but like
it does a lot of things.
I don't think there's a board I would draw this where I'm like, oh, this doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
I would draw this and be like, oh, yeah, that'll work.
Yeah.
Because the thing you gotta remember is it just says it gives a buff to your token allies, which is good. But the second part just says if you control 3 or more tokens. That's not actually that hard to do because level 3 Tony innately makes 3 token domains.
That's true.
Which means this enters rested, immediately wakes up and is like, all right, I'm ready to go.
All right, and so 2 of those domains make tokens, so
yeah. So even you could do it even before you hit the 3rd one.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this card's good. The next one is I don't think I'm playing it. Radiant Repudiation. 2 cost fast. Prevent the next 4 damage that be dealt to target Neos element unit this turn. Whenever damage is prevented this way, deal 2 to a target unit. It's Searing Rebuke for Neos, but like I don't want to say worse because it prevents 1 more damage, but it's worse because it can do less damage. Searing Rebuke's pretty good because you can turn 3 damage to yourself in instances of 1 into 9 damage at your opponent. Where Repudiation can only turn it into 8 damage if you're taking 4 1 damage chunks.
I think so. My big thing with this card, as using Searing Rebuke as kind of a comparison, Searing Rebuke is not a defensive card.
Yeah, Searing Rebuke is offensive. This is a defensive card. I just don't think it does enough as an advanced element defensive card.
I think that the mileage you get out of it is the fact that Searing Rebuke can only protect yourself,
Yeah,
not your
yes,
units,
you can protect your
and it
units.
only hits the enemy champion.
Yeah,
This has more versatility of you can protect any of your Neos units, as well as you can shoot anything.
yeah. It just, I don't know. Going down for this feels weird.
Well, yeah, but that's my point. You're not trying to go down for this. This is supposed to be legitimately like,
I mean, like down
oh,
to
my
influence.
opponent's sure. Okay, that's fair. But I think you use it are really like, oh, my opponent's trying to kill me. Like, I need to block this. My
Yeah,
opponent's trying to hit me with Seri. My opponent's trying to uh slice and dice me. I want to block the full one.
yeah. It's all right. I think I don't know. It's fine.
I don't think it's great. I
Okay.
think if I look at the other Neos cards that exist, I'm like, yep, that's a Neos card.
Neo's card, all right.
But
I do like the
and it's
flavor
just,
text a lot. Dare you defy creation?
it is a good flavor text, as well as I can't wait to flip this card face up to imbue Hector.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
But Tony did not just get Neo support. He also got some other support.
How dare you call that first card support?
So you know, Blazing Throw, guys. 1 cost, sack a weapon for something. What if it was bad? Shield Fragmentation, 2 cost, It's fast. So you know, we got that over Blazing Throw.
It's fast.
As an additional cost to activate this card, sacrifice a shield, of which there are only 9 currently. And all of them do not want to be sacrificed, generally speaking. And you deal 4 damage to a unit. So it's Blazing Shield Throw, but like not great.
On your left. To reiterate, guys, by the way, I have the list of shields up. All of them either want to be attached to someone, want to banish themselves as part of a cost. The only one I can see you wanting to throw is Resplendent Kite Shield, because it burns all of its uses up. But that's
Sure.
it. This being fast is legitimately a upside of, oh, when they go to destroy your shield, you can chuck it. But the only shield you would run normally is Vapor Jet, which is a water card.
Yeah, I think that's the only shield I've ever seen run besides like is the wind thing a shield that gives it effective vigilance?
Is the wind card the card that also is at fire?
I'm just asking. I'm just asking the questions that need
Yes,
to
it
be
is.
asked.
Wind Bless Shield
Wind
is.
plus kite shield, yeah.
Yes.
Imperial Shield's a playable card, okay?
Jacob. Legitimately about this card, I actually do like that it exists because we know another Guardian is coming, and in that set is likely to be Guardian support, which means there is a chance that more shields come out where shield fragmentation is actually good.
Yeah.
I'm not going to promise that, but like I'm saying that is a possibility.
Possibility.
End of in my prereq shield fragmentation in like surprise you've taken 4 damage and to do something else. Also just legitimately the tech of be like make a shield to immediately throw in my prereq, then recollect. That's not the worst play.
It's not the worst play.
No, like it's like blazing throwing something, except you got to do it in prereq, so you went effectively no cards down. Do I think that is something you want to do? No, but I think it is. If there was a shield that you could materialize for free, like there were daggers to blaze and throw, then I think we're talking about something else. That's a different story. If they make a item shield that's not a regalia that has like float or something, this card's really cool.
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
But for the time being,
it's not great.
yeah.
Think of it like Seaside Ringleader. It was bad because it didn't have a place.
Yeah. Next one, Dormigian Foundry.
This does have a place.
8 cost domain and norm. Class bonus for Guardian. Costs 2 less to activate for each of up to 3 domains you control. So it can cost 6 less if you have Wayfinder's map. It can cost 7 less, and so it's realistically a 1 to 2 cost domain if you're playing the domain deck. On enter, it makes an automaton drone with a buff counter, so it makes a 2/2.
That's it.
That's it. But it's versatile because it's effectively a 1/2 cost 2/2, which is not bad. It's nice.
Hey Jacob.
Hmm?
Hey Jacob.
Mm-hmm.
Hey Jacob.
Mm-hmm.
You ever been crushed by an obelisk before?
What is it? Is it attack with obelisk or smash? It's smash with obelisk, right? That's the Neos card.
I believe it is smash with obelisk.
Okay,
Yes.
it's a 3-cost attack in Neos. It has a base of 6 attack. As an additional cost to attack with the on attack. No, it's additional. It has additional cost.
Additional cost to activate it.
To activate it, you can sacrifice a domain and add to its power equal to the cost of the domain.
Oh, it's not a may. You have to.
You have to
sacrifice.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay. My apologies.
Smash with obelisk gets plus X attack, where X is the reserve cost of the sacrifice domain.
So you'd be swinging for 14 if you sack a foundry.
Yeah. You're like, all right, this foundry has gotten its use. Sacrifice it to attack for 14.
14's a lot.
Your opponent's like, sorry, attack for how much?
Yeah. I think domains still does have the problem of being domains.
Yeah, being Tony.
Well,
I really was.
Domain specifically, it's just like weird because you're doing a lot of game state actions, and none of them do anything to the board, generally speaking.
And that's why I think Norwegian is so important. That it puts something to board.
Like, I don't know, you're making 1/2/2 in a world of 2 3s and 3 4s.
Yeah, and this is true, which is why I think, like, again, I'm not saying the deck is good, but I'm saying, like, this gives it an actual, like, angle to do something about an ally deck, where previously you were kind of like, well, hope Chibi's enough to keep me alive.
Yeah.
No, it's crazy. This... I had something I was going to say, and I've kind of lost it, but I think it is more real now, because, like, Smash with Obelisk now gives you, like, a really succinct win con.
Yeah.
Of just, like, sack this big thing, hit you. I think with the Eternal Kingdom, this card effectively paying for itself, as well as being able to pay for something like Smash with Obelisk, is pretty damn good.
Yeah, I like the avenues it opens up. I just don't know if they're going to be good yet.
Yeah, and they might not be. It might still be pretty bad, but...
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, that's cool. The next card is weird. Vanguard's Reversal. It's a 5-cost attack for 5 in Norm. Guardian Sword. Class bonus, if your champion has Taunt, it costs 3 less. So if you're at level 1 Tony with your on-enter Taunt, it's a 2-cost attack for 5?
Pretty strong.
It's pretty decent. It's just weird, because aggro Tony doesn't really exist right now.
No, it did briefly, but, like, it was more of a...
At least in the time that we've been playing
since...
Yeah, the time that we've been playing since, like, middle of MRC, I don't think I've ever seen Tony aggro, like, be a very prevalent thing. I've seen it, but I haven't seen it be like, oh my god, it's the deck we got a tech to beat.
I will say, I was amazed in this altar. Me and you were really anticipating they were going to give Tony, like, another level 2 or 1, because Tony does kind of suffer from the problem of his level 3s are pretty interesting and cool build-arounds, but you have to get there, and level 1 Tony, he gains Taunt. That can be useful for stuff like Hasty Messenger, because you effectively get to keep him around for a little bit longer, because your opponent can't deal with them as easily. But his level 2 is, his next attack gets +3.
That's it.
Okay.
No,
what?
I really hope they give him, like, a Proxia level 2, because almost all of the viable decks that play level 2s, if you look at them all, they give you some sort of card advantage. Tristan level 2 draws up to 2 cards. Sylvie level 2 draws up to 2 cards. Xander draws a card, quote unquote,
of your choice,
and gives you a prep counter. Lorraine 2 can draw a lot of cards, but sometimes just one. What are the other ones?
Gojia draws you a card.
Gojia draws you a card or gets you to your Shenju faster. Like, and his level 2 is just like, oh, your next attack is +3. That's it.
Yeah, Arisana even gives you card advantage, technically.
Arisana gives you unlimited card advantage if you're smart about it.
Yes.
Um,
Diao-chan in a way gives you card advantage.
she gives you card options, I guess is the best way to put it. But she doesn't really
She
even
gives
see
you
play.
multiple actions. Yeah, you're right. You typically don't even go to level
Yeah,
2.
they just go. Fractals just goes to 1. Level 3, as fun as level 3 Diao-chan looks, she's not really playable at the moment.
Nah, the main
Unfortunately.
reason you would ever go is for the thing that allows you to animate your bandages.
Yeah. So I don't know. I really hope we get a new Tony at some point, or that CL just is good enough to want me to play Guardian. Um,
I
I
love
don't
you, Tony.
know. We'll see. We'll see. I
I'm playing it tonight.
I forgot what's next. Ah, Ranger support.
Alright, yeah.
uh,
Curses, 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 curses.
so we get 3 Ranger cards, all of which are completely different, and all
Oh,
3
yeah.
of which I don't think are going to change the state of Ranger.
Well, maybe.
Maybe, I don't know. So first we got Punishing Cartridge. It's a 0-cost Umbra bullet. That's a base 2 damage, renewable. On attack, discard up to 2 cards, then choose that many options of the following 2. Change the target of this attack to another unit, so you can bypass, I guess you can bypass Taunt. I don't think you can bypass
You might bypass taunt and
Intercept.
intercept. You should be able to because I believe there is a
I guess if you attack the Intercept unit and then redirect it, that
uh
should work.
yes, because intercept has to be declared on the target of the attack, correct?
Yeah. So you attack the champion, and then the intercept unit goes, intercept, would you like to intercept? So
Yeah.
if you attack something that isn't the champion and then redirect it, you'll be fine.
Yes.
Doesn't
And the
work
second
against Tristan.
is the second for punishing cartridge is punishing cartridge gains on champion hit. That opponent sacrifices an ally.
Yeah, so in the Umbra shell, you load this in the Shadow's Twin, and you get the on-hit trigger twice. So in a perfect world, you hit them for 5? Because punishing cartridges 2, on load is 2. Yeah, you hit them for 5. They get 2 of the Umbra curse thingy, Creeping Torment, and they sacrifice 2 allies.
Yes.
The other problem is getting there, because the general loop of Diana currently that goes to level 3 is they bum rush to 3. They have a bullet pulled out with their level 2, which can't be the Umbra card because you're not Umbra. And then they use the level 1 lineage release to grab Shadow's Twin. So on the turn you go to level 3, unless you specifically tech for it, you really can't do Punishing Cartridge Shadow's Twin on the turn you go to 3.
Yeah. Please note, by the way, this is also the first secondary advanced element bullet.
Yeah.
Which is neat.
That's cool, but
that's
it's like it wants you to wait, which is weird.
Yeah, it is a strange. It's more of a grindy card, really.
Yeah, but I don't think Diana's great at grindiness.
Well, that's why we have this last card on the list.
I curse yeah. Okay, that's for the other variant of Diana.
Huh?
So a punishing cartridge, it's cool. I'll be interested to see if it does anything. I don't think it will, but I appreciate that it exists. You know,
It exists. Yeah. Well.
The next one's
Yeah,
actually,
you know
yeah,
when Diana comes back with guns, right? That's what she's doing still, right?
yeah. The next one's interesting. Armed and Dangerous. It's your Ranger +1 card. It's a 3-cost norm slow action. Draw a card for each of up to 2 gun weapons you control. So if you have 2 guns, you draw 2 cards and you +1.
Yeah.
It's cool. Yeah, it's cool.
I legitimately think there's a spot for it. I don't know where yet. I feel
Yeah.
like there's like a Diana that probably goes to like 2 and hopes to just like get there with the fact that she gains ranged and just enough damage.
Yeah.
Because like going to 2, making a gun immediately, then having like makeshift firearm that you like made at one point, so you can now play this as a +2. Kind of like recuperate for having gone to 2.
I guess.
I don't know. Like,
It's
doesn't seem that bad.
Yeah. Not much to say on that card. It exists.
Yeah.
You want to cover this last one since you love it?
Accursed Strength. 2-cost Umbra card, Ranger spell, Diana bonus. This card costs 1 less to activate. It is fast. Draw 3 plus X cards, where X is the amount of curse cards in your champion's lineage minus your influence. Now that's a lot of math. What it means is you are going to they had to word it specifically. When you play this card, draw cards until your total influence equals 3 plus the amount of curses on you. So if you play this while you have 3 curses on you, but your influence is 7, you don't draw any. If you play this while you have 3 curses on you, but your influence is 3, you draw 3 cards. And it is fast, so you could do that in your prereq.
Yeah, X can be negative, so it's not just always a draw 3.
Yes. I love this card.
I think it's bad.
Yes. I think this card's really cool. I think it was a neat way of kind of rewarding. I like cards that reward people for blitzing to 3. Who are like, no, F it, I'm going to level 3, I don't care if it demolishes my influence. A good example of that is the Guojia card, the Luxem one. What's it called? It's the Reliquary? Incandescent Reliquary?
Incandescent Reliquary.
Yeah, that card says, hey, as long as you have the least cards, draw an extra 1 every turn, which rewards you for having Major Dragon really quickly. Accursed Strength is kind of like that, where it's like, alright, you got to level 3, you've been cursing yourself, let's make this like a +3, +4.
Yeah.
Do I think that's easy to do? No, and I don't think it should be easy to do. It should be difficult to pull off. But if I'm making a card be a 1-cost +3, I don't care if it's easy to do.
Yeah.
I want it to be, I'm setting up for a big turn where I'm like, alright, kill ya.
It's a cool card, I will admit,
yes.
But I think Curses is still bad.
Yes, I think of the Curse support cards, this is one of the better ones, which is saying something.
Yeah, yeah.
I think innately cursing yourself is handicapping yourself and hard to do well. But I am interested to try this card. My only criticism is I need to get Carters, and goddamn, those cards never really went down in price.
They only went up after the CL announcement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he is a Guardian bonus. Fun fact.
Good fire cards.
Good fire cards.
Scathing Seminary is a 2-cost fire 2/1 for Cleric. Class bonus balance on enter as a spell. If you're balanced, deal 2 unpreventable damage to target unit. So if you're kind of blitzing to level 1, I think the math is like if you play 2 things turn 1, level to 1, you'll have 5 in hand after you draw to balance seminary. You're in first.
That sounds right.
So 2 damage, 2 costs for 4 damage. Obviously, is a very good rate. Especially if they don't kill the seminary and it keeps hitting them. Cards are good.
It is. I think the inverse to what you're saying is if you go second, it's kind of hard to get this card balanced.
Yeah, if you go second, it's hard to balance, but
that's
eventually,
fine.
I mean, at worst, it's a 2-cost 2/1. Whatever.
Yeah.
You're a fire
I like. Yeah. I like that this card isn't just like Gyarados, where it's like, oh, it's really easy to turn on every time. Or Gyarados, not Gyarados. Yeah. It's really easy to turn on every time. I don't want that to be true. I want it to be like kind of hard to. And the effect is, I like it when a balance card is when you can't turn it on, it's a little bit below rate. But when you can turn it on, it's a little bit above rate.
It would be kind of wild to go seminary into Rococo.
Yeah. It's hard to do that though.
If you have 5 in hand, 2 down for seminary, 1 down for Rococo.
Right, she's 1.
Yeah,
forgot that. I keep thinking Rococo's 2.
Nah, she's 1 cost. I mean, this card's good.
Yeah.
It places well into the Fire Ari sort of aggro shell, or Dialtron, whatever your preference is for Cleric.
I will say, we can't be too being on well, it's just a 2/1. We were running Trapping.
We were also running a 2-cost 2/1 for a bit.
Yeah. So fair.
Yeah. The next card is really good for Fire Ari aggro. Volda Smolder's Spite. 2 cost 1/3 unique ally for Guardian and Cleric. If you're level 2+, congratulations, it has fast activation. And class bonus for Cleric and Guardian. On enter, until end of turn, damage dealt by fire element sources you control cannot be prevented.
Yeah.
Nice,
I make Clarent to negate your Searing Writ. No, you don't.
Oh, you don't. Nuh-uh.
Nuh-uh.
Nice Veiling Breeze, nice Clarent. Yeah, it's interesting, because I think there's a world where you can do the Searing Rebuke type deck, but you're doing like a level 3 DELOSound deck that uses Scepter of Awakening. It's just another way to do damage. And you just kind of try and get to 2, so that way you can Volta protect your board, or protect your damage.
Yeah.
It's a weird
You
statement.
just flash, you fast activate this in on your prereq, and your opponent goes, "Oh, that can't be good for me."
Yeah. You want a Veiling Breeze now, huh?
Yeah, they look at their hand like, "Uh-oh."
It would be insane bait to bring out Nullifying Mirror. They go, "Oh, I need a Veiling Breeze," and you go, "Okay, cool, Volta."
Yeah, just like force them like to just eat cards. They're like, well, now I can't end cap. And you're like, 6 Searing Rebuke. And they're like, no.
Yeah, I like this card a lot. This card's good.
Yeah, it's very effective. It is, by the way, Cleric and Guardian bonus, as well as being an automaton.
Maybe Guardian with this next card, Furnace Drone. Maybe Guardian fire aggro's on the menu. Who knows?
I will say, by the way, I'm saying this for people. This is a unique ally. It is not a human. It does not trigger red hair. It is an automaton.
I need more ways to make red hair attack.
Oh, you needed more than 2?
I need more.
Yeah.
No, card's good. I like it.
Yes.
Next one, Furnace Drone. 3 cost, 3/4. As additional cost, activate this card. Banish 3 fire element and or automaton cards from your graveyard in any combination. 3 fire cards.
Nullifying.
Yeah.
Nullifying Lantern, eat your heart out.
Yeah, if you have 3 automaton cards in bin, you can do that instead of fire cards if there's a lantern out. So flexibility. It's got taunt and class bonus for Guardian on def. 3 damage to a champion.
Yeah. So this card, Frostborn Paladin, is that you?
Yeah. It's very interesting. It's a really big body with a punishment to your opponent if they kill it.
Mm-hmm.
It's
defensive or offensive, whichever you need it to be.
It's a very strange card, but I do like it.
Yeah. I think taunt is a very kind of deceptive keyword on there, because you're like, oh, I can leave this back to kind of protect myself. Dog, you can just swing for 3, and what are they going to do about it? They kill it? 6. They take another 3. They don't kill it? Cool, attack them again for 3.
Yeah, this with Volta makes me very interested in a possible, like, Tony fire, like, aggro type shell. That you actually uses the level 2 to, like, hit someone. I mean, it could be interesting to, like, you can also play like a weird mid-rangey type where you like cremation ritual the Furnace Drone.
You attack with the again for 3, cremation it, 3 them again.
Yeah, I don't hate that.
I don't either. Like, it seems pretty good.
I just don't know what that deck looks like. Maybe that's something more when CL comes out. There's an avenue for that.
I mean, we are going to get more Fire Guardian stuff with him.
Yeah, we know who started X Fire Guardian. Just because Tony feels weird going just to 2, I feel like. I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know. Think of it like Lorraine top end, where you go to Lorraine and she's like, I get 2 damage for my next attack. And you're like, alright, this is the turn I kill you. You go to Tony, you're like, alright, my next attack is +3. Rending Flames you for 6.
Yeah.
Well, that one's attack. That one's Warrior and Assassin modes. You can't do that, but
yeah,
you get my point. Have some like big attack.
I mean, the taunt is nice for Arthur, I guess.
Yeah.
You can, like, deploy
Furnace Drone a 4/4. Oh.
Oh. You can play like Red Hair, Zhao Kuo, Arthur package still.
Yeah. They're fire cards, so it does kind of. You do weirdly, even if you. you can kind of bait your opponent of not having the automatons fully set up. And so like, all right, I need to get Nullifying Mirror, and you're like, all right, sick. Either reduce it or just like you dump some other automatons with like a creative shock, and they're like, no.
Yeah, there's a 3. I think it's a 3-cost 3/1. Might be 2 cost. I think it's 3-cost 3. Additional cost to play it. You discard a fire card. It's got Guardian Floating Memory. And it's a
Fire-tuned automaton.
Yeah, fire-tuned automaton. So you get like that stuff too, which I think is cool.
It is just a 3/1. Like, yeah, you have to discard a card, which kind of sucks. But
Yeah, but that means you're feeling your furniture and you're feeling. I don't actually know if there's anything else you care about, because I think Fiery Momentum. I think Fiery Momentum's class bonus.
I think it's warrior bonus. I'll double check.
Yeah.
The other thing you can do is, we talked about the commands earlier. You can still run the norm command, and I really don't hate that.
Yeah. Like, you don't have...
Like, just being like... Yeah, it's by the way, Fire Momentum is class.
Yeah, I guess you wouldn't be a full fire deck like you were at Philo. You'd be more like a norm fire mix.
But also, like, what other reason do you need to be full fire? You don't get Fire Momentum, you don't get Rending Flames, you don't need to be full fire.
I think you just want all your norm cards to be somehow automaton coded, and I think you're fine.
And I think that's not hard either.
Yeah, like you use Charge Mannequin, the Directive.
You can get away with the Manufacture Cell if you really want.
Yeah, if you're running enough of them.
Is that an automaton bonus card?
No, that's just a card.
No, but it might be.
I've played it in Lorraine.
It is! It's an automaton card.
Oh, it's an automaton card. Yes, it is an automaton card.
That's... yeah. Wait, hey, Manufacture Cell is summon a power cell token rested errata to if you control an automaton object.
Interesting.
Are they hinting that eventually there's going to be automaton champions?
I hope so, dude. That'd be sick.
Yeah.
Crimson Tier becomes mid.
Hell yeah!
Yeah,
Three's a champion!
I'll definitely try out a fire automaton aggro deck. I think that'd be interesting to try.
Banish Zone is at the very least going to be playable. Like,
yeah.
this
I bet
good.
you give Volda as well.
Oh yeah, she is an automaton,
Yeah.
and a guardian bonus.
And she's
like,
just good.
by the way, she is one of the reasons you'd want to stay mostly fire.
Yeah.
But if a lot of your norm cards are stuff like Manufacture Cell or the attack card, and Jacob, judge question, if I have one of my fire units use a norm attack command, what is the element of that attack?
Fire!
There we go!
Yeah, I think it's an interesting avenue.
Yes. We have a few more cards and then we'll be done.
Yeah.
Here are the, bit of the reprints, we messed up.
We'll start with the one on the right. We didn't really have a good place to put this, so I considered it in the out with the old and with the new because it demolishes a lot of the stuff they've been doing. Regal Expulsion is a 2-cost fast water activation or action. Negate target card activation if the card was activated from a material deck. So Polaris, if they activate it with its alternative cost, negate it. Vanitas, negate it.
Shadow's Claw.
Gaia's Blessing.
Reciprocity.
Gaia's Blessing. Old Scepter's
Why is
Lumina.
Reciprocity catching strays?
Yeah, so it's a very interesting card. It's definitely a sideboard card.
Oh yeah, you don't win this main.
Unless you're Negate Ari, then maybe you main 2 of them just to be mean.
No.
It'd be really funny. But no, it's a sideboard card. But it's interesting because it punishes some of these older strategies, especially with the new slime card. Baby Slimes comes back in some form. So Gaia's Blessing would be back on the menu.
Perhaps.
Talking about slime card, Baby Silver Slime. It's a 2-cost norm 1/1. As long as you control another slime ally, it has Taunt. And on death, you can reveal a slime card from your hand or memory. If you do, draw a card. With the funny little flavor text, an invasive species, often mistaken for its gray cousin, referring to Baby Gray Slime, which was banned during last season. It definitely doesn't bring back Norm Slimes. Norm Slimes was kind of crutching on the fact of Baby Gray Slime and Escape from the Wreckage being a little combo deal.
Being able to kind of like rebuy the on enter a lot.
Yeah. Stay
Just
card
being
neutral the entire time.
Yeah. this being on death is very much a bigger ask.
Yeah, but it means you can play Fire Slimes again. Because you can cremation ritual it, which you were already doing in Fire Slimes beforehand anyways.
Yeah. I will say, one legitimate upside of this card is Taunt is a good keyword.
Taunt is a very good keyword. It's maybe even better than Intercept.
I'd say so, just because it can protect, quote unquote, your other slimes.
Yeah.
It can like kind of protect a Limitless for like an extra turn, so it because the time to get bigger. It just kind of gets in the way.
Yeah.
And only having to reveal one slime card, you could probably already do two or even three if you needed to.
You can get a little more aggressive with the non-slime cards, even though you do want to have a nice amount of slime cards for Storm Slime. Yes. But like some of them are running like Ordinary Horse just for creative shock discarding, so like you could still do some of that stuff.
Corpse.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see if Fire Slimes comes back because of this card. I will definitely be trying it. Because I love slimes. I miss Storm Sliming people for 20.
I don't.
I like it a lot. I think it's cool. Norm Slimes is definitely not back. I don't think Norm Slimes is coming back.
Yeah.
But fire.
The last card we have to look at is Windbless Lookout. This was the reprint card to, what was it again? It was Korhazi
Lookout.
Korhazi Lookout. Korhazi Lookout was a card that was, I believe, still 2 cost for a 1/3.
It was the same
on
stat
enter.
line.
Yeah, gain a prep counter, and then you may remove a prep class lock. You may remove a prep counter from your champion. If you do, your opponent cannot activate cards this turn. Activate only during your turn.
It also
so you looked at your opponent's. Oh, and it glimpsed one. Great. Which allowed you to look at your opponent and say, "You're not messing with me on my turn," which allowed you to very easily go for the kill.
Yeah.
This card is not that card. I'm not even going to pretend it is. It is a 2-cost 1/3 that says, on enter, put a prep count on your champion. Class bonus, also on enter, glimpse 1. Nowhere near as powerful, obviously, but I think
it is still very strong.
I don't think you run this card in Tristan or even really Xander. You might be able to get away with it in Xander.
I've been talking to my resident Tristan friend about it, and he's very excited for it because he doesn't like Broker as much because past turn 1 Broker feels strange sometimes.
I get a 4-cost card that puts prep is definitely kind of rough.
He was wanting another cheap put a prep counter thing, so he's able to still do more things.
That's fair.
I don't know if it's gonna be great, but I appreciate that it exists.
What I really like about it is this is one of the few cards that has on enter, put a prep on your champion that isn't class locked.
Yeah.
I really like this card for being able to do some shenanigans of like allow some other decks, because fun fact, boys and gals, Slice and Dice is not a class locked card.
Yup.
Which means you can pay 3 prep as a guardian or something and Slice and Dice in your opponent. I absolutely want to try this card in like Vanitas or something to be like, go to level 2. Slice and Dicey for 11. They're like, what? I thought you were razor killing me. Nah, dog. I got a built-in attack stat. Anyway, I'd like to go to level 3 for free now. Would you like to Regal Expulsion me? No? Weird. But yeah, I think it's a very interesting card. And yeah, another cheap card that puts prep on your champion. Not bad. It's another card to reclaim.
Yeah.
And I don't think you're that sad about it. Glimpse 1 is a deceptive ability, I will say, by the way. Glimpsing 1, very helpful.
Yeah, I mean, cheap ways to glimpse just is never bad.
Yeah, I know that Tristan is very good at looking at the... Like, playing this card into Glimpse and then surveilling, you're like, oh, cool, I knew what I either knew what I was going to draw, or I was like, oh, at least I didn't get that other thing I didn't need right now. At least I didn't draw my 4th Shadow Strike.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's a bit innocuous, but I'm glad it's not another Lookout.
Yeah.
I'm glad it's not another Karaji Lookout.
It's nice to have the option. if Tristan players are so inclined. And I'm glad it doesn't break the game.
Yes, I'm very glad it doesn't break the game.
Yeah. I think that's everything.
Yeah. This was a bit of a longer one because we went through each card kind of like specifically
we're
talked about
hour
use
45
cases.
marks. It's not awful.
All right, that's
Yeah.
good.
The TLDR MRC Alter cards are cool. Probably nothing super groundbreaking, but some interesting additions before, because this will affect Worlds. So some interesting additions to consider before Worlds. Regionals was fun. Clarence busted in a good way.
Clarent is very strong. Yes. Strong in a protective way.
Yeah, strong in a protective way. It's not oppressive, which I enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are some decks that you're playing against where they're like, I'm all in on dudes. And you're like, yeah, this sword does nothing, dude. You play against Tristan, you're like, Clarence, terrible news, buddy.
It's a blazing throw target, I guess.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, have a terrible, awful news, pal.
Yeah.
You ain't doing anything.
Clarence fun. Yeah. Upcoming stuff. Oceania Nats will probably have happened by the time this goes up. NA Nats will be in 2 weeks. I will be there. I'm not expecting to do well. I'm going to have a fun time and redeem my promos. And hope some of my friends who are a little bit more competitively angled do well.
Yeah.
Worlds is coming up. I'm going. Noah, are you going?
I may be there. We will probably record another thing where I will have a more succinct answer.
Good.
Speaking of recording more stuff, because of changing circumstances, we may actually be able to record in-person gameplay content, which is a big reason to want to do that, by the way. We were thinking of trying to set something up doing like both of us using our webcam, but that doesn't look as good, but this would allow us to have like one camera that has both sides of the field, which could be very nice.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out audio. That's the only thing.
Yeah, we'd need like, I don't know.
I'll
look up how much personal mics cost.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But
we
can. Yeah, I'm moving back to my hometown due to extenuating circumstances for working with the government. If you know anything about the current federal employee situation, you'll understand.
If you don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, but I'll be down there for at least a couple months. We'll see if I'm staying there for wherever my next job takes me, but hopefully I am. But and also we'll try to be making more content because of the circumstance of the Frostswarm Paladin CPR. Ooh.
No. We're doing it for the love of the game.
We did start it for the love of the game.
We are actually doing it for the love of the game.
However,
like, I know that sounded like a bit.
I would not be adverse to a Frostworm Paladin CPR. Yeah, and they did mention, because someone did ask a question in their Q&A of like, how will it be handled for channels that have like multiple people? So like we have 2, Sparkle Sisters have 2, main deck is like 2 to 3 people, I think. I don't know if they have a third person behind the scenes doing stuff, but at least Dan and Taylor. Lineage Break is at least 2 people, and they said they will figure that out when they release the article for it sometime soon-ish. So hopefully, yeah, it'd be really cool if we could get one for each of us. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, they're like, I don't know.
Maybe. That thing would never leave whatever sleeve thing it comes to, or if I don't know. I would hang that shit on my wall.
Hey, Jacob, speak for your fucking self. I would absolutely play with
I know
it
you would, and that's what scares me. The duality of man. Oh, that thing's never getting played. And yeah, I'll shuffle
Jacob's
this
like,
up single-sleeved.
Yeah, Jacob's like, this is a collector's thing. This is kind of like a sign that we almost like made it, that we like are known in the community. And I'm like, yeah, I'm known in the community, which means I want to show it off. I want to be like, hey, check this out.
If the banner night prices or anything they go off of,
I would consider it, but I would, depending on if we get like if we got like a playset, I would absolutely play with them. If I only got like one, then yeah, I would probably just frame
And just play it as the one, and when you draw it, it's the lucky one.
it.
Here,
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna play this Frostworm Paladin CPR on the stack. Banish this Lost in Thought CPR.
Just absolute the most like wealthy. This play in itself is worth more than the rest of the deck.
Yeah, this play is like $2,000, $3,000.
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh god. I don't
this
know.
play is your monthly rent.
Again, guys, that's not why we're doing this.
Yeah,
But it'd be really funny.
it would be really funny. God,
Actually, yeah, no.
we're gonna be at the same locals soon.
Yeah.
So it'd be really funny if I just watch him play a CPR Frostworm Paladin and I just hear like Neto go, "Oh, why?"
You're like, come on, and then you're like, without looking up, you're like, he played the Frostworm, didn't he?
Yeah, this guy.
Look, I'm this guy.
Yeah, we'll probably record one more episode before Nats.
At least something might come up.
We'll definitely record one thing after Nats talking about Nats. Might record something else before Worlds. That'd be like 2 things in 4 weeks. That's doable.
If we have to start after the post Nats episode with me shouting, "You what?" Like I won.
No, I got it. Whoa. Let's not. Whoa.
I'm just saying, if I have to start it like that, I'm going to be both impressed and angry somehow at the same time.
Getting day 2 would be great, but I am not expecting it.
I believe in you. Philo good.
I'm going to have a fun time with my friends. We're getting an Airbnb for like 12 people.
Oh dear God.
We're gonna jam games to test. It's gonna be a great time. We're driving out there too. It's a 12-hour drive.
Oh my! Why?
It's way cheaper than flying. It comes to like $40 to $50 per person in gas for both there and back total. Rather than like
It's a 12-hour drive.
Yeah, I mean, hey, now that I'm quote unemployed,
You're like, I have nothing else to do.
yeah. If anyone is interested, they did a thing with the government where it's like you can. I call it the federal buyout. It's a bribe. They say, hey, we'll pay you till September, or you will be considered working until September 30th, and you'll go on admin leave whenever your thing started. So for me, it started May 1st. Or not May 1st, May 5th. So you don't being admin leaving, you don't come into work. And we'll continue paying you throughout that time. You'll get like some paychecks afterwards, just due to lag in paychecks. But come September 30th, you'll resign from your position. And I didn't take the first one; I took the second one. And now I am looking for. So hey, if you or anyone you know needs a health physicist who specialized in laser safety, let me know.
Now I'm in school. I'm good with the job.
Yeah,
I'm good. I don't feel like it.
But yeah, I've got some more free time now. I was getting ready to put in my time off request for Nats and Worlds, and I was like, well, not anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're driving up Thursday. So or down sideways. We're driving west.
You'll have fun with that. I will not be there.
Yeah, and that's will be a fun time.
Yeah, I live.
Yeah, I'll be with the Modern Tabletop crew. So if you see people in orange shirts that say Modern Tabletop on them, I'm probably somewhere nearby. Actually, maybe by then I'll have a shirt.
You might have one.
I might have one. I need to talk to him to Neto about it, but I might have one by then. At least a blank one. Maybe I'll have ones with their names on it. Maybe I can get a blank one from Chris.
I do technically need to get one too.
Yeah.
I've been hanging out with them for like several months.
You are a Modern Tabletop person.
I am technically.
But yeah, I think it's everything we've had for today after a little IRL lore rant.
Yeah.
But
for you guys, it just means more content.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us and listening to us go off about both tournament results, how good Clarent is, and how good. If you haven't played with it yet, try it.
Pick up Philo.
It feels really good.
I hope you're already on the Arthurs.
Yeah. Ugh. It feels so good in an aggro deck like Philo, like Fiza or Suzaku to have a good defensive card
Yeah.
that you like always have access to.
Yeah.
It just provides such versatility. And thank you for us talking about all of the altar cards. The good, the medium, and the I'm glad it exists.
This concludes the Dusklight Communion. Until next time, bye bye.
Have fun.